Howdy, Scouts. Today I want to go over Scout Rank Requirement 1E, which is repeat from memory the Outdoor Code. In your own words, explain what the Outdoor Code means to you. Well, what is the Outdoor Code? As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, be careful with fire, be considerate in the outdoors, be conservation minded. Well, how can we memorize it, you might say? Well, there are 5 lines to it. So let's memorize something about each line, and we'll be one step closer to memorizing it. Okay, so the first line is the fact that you're an American and you want to do your best. So best American or American best, whichever way. Okay, the next 4 lines are known as the 4 C's, which are clean, careful, considerate, conservation minded. So you can remember those 4 words and the fact that you're an American that does their best, you probably got it memorized in 5 minutes or less. But don't sweat it if you don't. We'll get some practice. Okay, so what does it mean though? Well, let's go through the C's. Let's start at number 1. Be clean in my outdoor manners. So, how does anybody be clean? Well, we can be clean in our room by putting our clothes away, and you could be clean in the outdoors by keeping your trash and your clothes out of the outdoors, So don't leave things behind when you go in the outdoors. Take what you take with you and take it out with you. Some places, when you go camping, they make you poop in a bag and take it home with you. But those are pretty cool places, and there are certain reasons why we do that. But that's one of those weird examples of how we're cleaning our outdoor manners. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is be careful with fire. Man-made fire can be destructive to nature. There are natural fires that are important to the environment. Certain plants need fire in order to sprout from seeds. So we want to keep man-made fire from wreaking havoc on nature. And the way we could do that is being careful with fire and only having a fire when we need to, and making sure that we follow regulations as to when and where we can have fires, such as established campgrounds or fire rings, and making sure you get it out cold before leaving. All right. Number 3, be considerate in the outdoors. What you talking about? What you talking about, man? You be considerate in the outdoors, man. So considerate is kind of a word that means rude or not rude. Yeah, it means not rude. So when we're considerate, we're not rude. And the way we're not rude is by leaving no trace. Now, leaving no trace has a lot of cool things in it, and there's a chance you haven't learned everything, but I want to share just 2 of the things I really like. And one is staying on established trails. So you don't want to make a trail where there shouldn't be a trail, because if everyone's making trails, you're going to have like 1,000 trails to the same campground, and that destroys nature. So we walk on one established trail, so that way we can be surrounded by nature and leave the trail making up to somebody who knows what they're doing. And sometimes you don't walk on established trail, but you learn more about that in Leave No Trace. All right, and the second thing I like to share is noise pollution. So we like to go camping at a place called Little Jimmy, and it's a really popular camping place with about 5 or 6 sites. And it can get crowded up there when you get a couple Boy Scout troops, and it can get really noisy. And all that noise kind of keeps you from enjoying nature. So you yourself should try to help other people enjoy nature by not being excessively loud. It's good to have fun and a good time, but just try not to detract or take away from the nature experience of others when you're in the outdoors. Okay, Now we're on to number 4, which is to be conservation minded. Now, conservation has to do with protecting and preserving for future generations. Certain things that we have in our environment can be destroyed. When this happens to plants or animals, this is known as they're going extinct. And they get put on like the endangered species list, so that way we can protect them from disappearing forever. Okay, so we need to protect not only animals and plants, but soils, minerals, our forests. And we could do this not only physically, but by teaching others about it and by sharing that ethic, that belief. So that way, when somebody else that doesn't know goes out there and like wants to pour their motor oil down the drain, we can teach them that was really bad for the ocean. All right, well, we covered all the different aspects of the outdoor code and we've practiced it. So why don't we practice it one more time together and see if we can memorize it? If not, I'll have another video on that, but let's go into it. As an American, I will do my best to be clean in my outdoor manners, be careful with fire, be considerate in the outdoors, be conservation minded. Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed this video and you watched it to this point. Just make sure to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I love comments. I love to reply to comments. All right, till I see you next time. Scout out.